Red lights are on and they go out. Away they go. Not a good start from Billy Boggis on the second row of the grid, but the two roadsters from the front row get away quite nicely. Sean Traynor ahead of Graham Mailings. It's Neil Stratton into third place. Tim Heron is the best of the Mark II cars at the moment in the blue machine. He's got ahead of Daniel Sylvester there. Billy Boggis having dropped from third back to sixth, and Heron has gone straight on. Brakes locked up and he's into the gravel trap at Druids. Didn't really see how all of that started, but possibly he just locked up all on his own, and Tim Heron, who was leading in the Mark IIs, has gone off into the gravel trap. Leaders, though, filtering their way along the Cooper Straight. It is Sean Traynor leading from Graham Mailings in second place and Neil Stratton in third position, with Daniel Sylvester now up to fourth place, I can see, as they make their way through Clearways and Clark Curve, and they are going to be confronted by the safety car, Marcus.
Oh dear. Well, it was perhaps likely that there will be a schmozzle at the at Druids in the first lap with these very, very tightly bunched cars, but that was a real shame that the leader of the Mark II section went careering off into the gravel, but we will see how long it takes to recover him. Very quickly into action was the safety car. Sean Traynor, who I've lost count of the number of MR2 races I've seen Sean Traynor win, always in the number 27 car, whichever flavour it's been over the years, leading Graham Mailings. Neil Stratton, Daniel Sylvester, who was in good form yesterday, wasn't he? Daniel doubling up this weekend.
Yeah, out in hot hatch yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then Adam Lockwood and Carl Johnson, in the top six. Billy Boggis, as I say, made that bad start in '99, dropped back into seventh place. But it's Tim Heron who's in trouble.
Yeah, Sean Traynor, well, I'm not sure how many wins he's had, but he's had 4 championship titles in 2015, and then 3 back-to-back in 17, 18 and 19. Aaron Cook winning the championship for the last 3 years, but he's gone off to race other things. He was here at Brands Hatch last weekend, actually, on the Grand Prix circuit, racing in Korea in the Keep races there, supporting the Fanatec World GTs. But 3 times the champion he has been. But Sean Traynor coming into this weekend, only third in the points behind Carl Johnston and Adam Lockwood. Sean Traynor won both of the races at Donington Park, but Carl Johnston, in his first season of racing, the number 69 car, the driver from Armagh in Northern Ireland, he as I say, won both of the races at Silverstone, which wasn't a particularly successful meeting for Sean Traynor. Did get 1/3 place out of it, but that was about it.
Really unusual for Sean to be kind of off the podium on a regular basis.
Yeah, had an off, I think, down at Beckett's in one of the races at Silverstone, which set him back somewhat. But still a long way to go, because it's a 16-round season. We've only had 4 races so far. They'll go to Mallory Park next month, then Snetterton, Silverstone International, Anglesey and Alton Park to complete the season in October. So a quarter of the way through, and plenty of time for drivers to get back on terms. And as we say, Carl Johnston didn't qualify so well today. Oh, Tim Heron's got himself out of the gravel trap, see, and is now catching the rest of the pack up, I think. So presumably that means that the safety car is going to go in this time.
But he is a lap behind the field, because he's just finished his first lap, and so Heron just playing catch up. He's going to be going for fastest lap, isn't he, in his class? That's all he can hope for, really.
You'd think. Hopefully his brakes are working effectively, because I didn't seem that hot on the way into Druids that time. Anyway, safety car pulls in. Sean Traynor's going to lead them over the line with nearly 11 minutes of the race left to go. So it's Traynor, Lockwood, Stratton and Sylvester, the top 4, as they head into Paddock Hill Bend for the 4th time in this race, the 2nd time under racing conditions. And Stratton in the yellow car sort of pulls out, tries to go around the outside of Graham Mailings at Druids there. It's not going to work, going all the way around the outside at the hairpin, so Mailings holds on to 2nd place at the moment.
Yeah, with the Mark II car of Daniel Sylvester, number 21, in 4th place. Green flags still fluttering to say all is clear. Trainer just stretching a few lengths over Graham Mailings. Mailings started in the Mark II, didn't he? And
Yep.
then moved over to the Roadsters, as so many have
Yep.
over the years.
6th in the championship, Mailings. Had a podium at Donington in the opening round of the season. Stratton there in 3rd place. Sylvester 4th, Lockwood 5th, Billy Boggis 6th. He's got a place back. He's got ahead of Carl Johnston on that lap, the championship leader. Jim Mew 8th, Andrew Ruffin 9th, and Peter Higton 10th. There is the 21 car of Daniel Sylvester. Rogue Motorsport prepared car. Rogue, who always been a large team preparing cars in this championship. But Trainer now is stretching his legs away from Graham Mailings. It was 0.52 at the beginning of the lap. It looks like it might be getting on for double that now as they come through to complete lap 5. So Trainer making his escape.
Yeah, he must have most of a second now over Graham Mailings in 71. 84 Stratton is 3rd in the Yoo-Hoo car, the Yoo-Hoo glue-coloured machine. Then the Rogue Mark II, Sylvester.
And we're on board on screen now for the live stream with Maxine Nichols, number 17. She's running in 13th place, so right in the middle of the field there. Heading away through Paddock Hill Bend, chasing after Christopher Allison in the ex-Paul Cutt car. But we're back with the leading bunch, or the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place bunch anyway. Daniel Sylvester at the back of that group. I was looking to see if Adam Lockwood was getting any closer, but not based on the evidence of the last lap time. He was 3/10 slower than Sylvester on the last lap. Sean Trainer's done the best lap of the race, 57.01, a couple of tenths outside the lap record for the class. Back on board with Maxine. You can see her heading through McLaren now to Clearways. Yep, that Mark II of Christopher Allison ahead of her. And a relatively clear track before you get to Darren Aldworth. About 4 more seconds up the road.
It's interesting, isn't it? The Class C record, 56.83, and the Class Bs, the old 2-litre cars, are 2 tenths quicker.
They are indeed. We are on board now with another of the Rogue Motorsport cars. Heading down through Paddock Hill Bend. It is the Carl Johnston car, I think, that we were on board with there, number 69, the championship leader. He's heading up towards Surtees. There you can see the battle for 9th, 10th and 11th. Andrew Ruffin, Peter Higton down on with Higton in the Mark III Roadster, sandwiched in between the two bigger and heavier Mark IIs. 2nd and 3rd over the line once again to complete their 7th lap. That's Mailings and Stratton. They're now 1.63 seconds adrift of Sean Trainer. Mailings going a little bit too wide there over the concrete at Paddock Hill Bend. That brings Stratton into things, and Dan Sylvester as well a little bit. And on the last lap, Lockwood did take a couple of tenths out of Sylvester as well in his closing.
We're on board with Sylvester, aren't we?
We are indeed, yeah.
Got Stratton ahead of him in the yellow car.
Yep, indeed, as they head up to Surtees.
Kind of pogos through Surtees.
And they've got some lappery to do. That's Martin Collins in the only Mark I on the grid this weekend.
That might actually help Sylvester there, because the others were bottled up a little bit. Sylvester had a bit of time to just alter his line.
Yeah, he certainly did. But Lockwood now with them as well, you can see. So it's really one in the lead, now 4 cars for 2nd place, because Lockwood has caught them. He's got Billy Boggis behind him in the Mark II, who made that dreadful start and lost ground within the Mark II Class 2, Sylvester, and briefly Tim Heron as well. But 2nd, 3rd, 4th, pretty close here through Graham Hill Bend. Respecting the track limits there. Back on board we go with Sylvester. He's losing a bit of ground, isn't he, along the Cooper Straight there?
Yeah, but it's pretty good through here, and he's always having to fight it, but See how smooth he is most of the time.
Mm.
Then he has to make that corrective lock. The sun's come out. That's nice.
Over the line they will come in a moment. Then 2.4 seconds now of the lead for Sean Traynor, so he is getting away. He's making amends for his Silverstone disappointment 3 weeks ago, clearly.
And there's two pairs behind them now, very much with Mailings and Stratton and Sylvester and Lockwood. And they're being caught now by Billy Boggess in the bright blue car.
Yeah, he took 3/10 out of Lockwood on the previous lap, so he's getting involved as well. It's about 2 seconds clear of Carl Johnston in the 69 car. Championship leader not having the happiest of weekends. He'll be losing ground to Sean Traynor today. There's Boggess in the 99 car. BB Developments.
There's something hanging underneath it, a strap of some description.
There is, isn't there?
But it's just a bit of loose stuff. It's not, I don't think it's anything critical.
No, hopefully no need for the scrutineers to take an interest. 4 minutes of the race to go. Traynor continuing to lead. He's done the best lap of the race as well, 57.01. Not has anyone break the 57-second barrier yet. But here's Lockwood now with Billy Boggess right with him. They're in different classes, but points are scored in sort of two separate tables. There's an overall position based on overall finishing positions, but there's also separate points for Class A and Class B.
It's a bit like
and Class
NASCAR.
C. Yeah.
If you've led 400 of the 500 laps, you get extra points.
So we've got on board with Sylvester again as he's heading onto the Brabham Straight in a moment, past the pit lane entrance there. And he is a few car lengths behind Stratton here. He's probably more preoccupied with Lockwood in his mirrors now.
Yep, Boggess has caught the other two. He's not quite close enough to have a go into paddock.
Carl Johnston's just in his best lap of the race, 57.180. He's trying to get himself on terms with the cars ahead, but I think it might be a vain pursuit because there's less than 3 minutes to go now. And he is still 2 seconds behind Boggess, for example. Mailings and Stratton still disputing second place. As they make their way through clearways. G&T Motorsport, the T for Graham's son Tom, who we sometimes see competing as well. Good run through clearways that time. 4-0 Stratton. He's a bit closer to Mailings than he has been, I think. He's putting across to the left-hand side of the circuit. Mailings wise to that. And cuts off that particular line of attack. But it is now 5 cars together. Second place. Mailings a little bit too wide, I think, there at paddock. And starting to bring Sylvester back into it as well.
Yeah, that's right, but he's have to be quite defensive there because Lockwood in that slightly nimbler, not quite as powerful, but slightly nimbler roadster was all over him coming out of paddock.
Back onto the Cooper Straight for the 13th time in this race. Obviously, we did have that early safety car period, so we're not going to get as many laps as we might have otherwise done in this 15-minute race. It's the 84 car of Stratton, a different line to Mailings through Clearways and Clark Curve that time.
Here's the pursuing quintet. No change in the order. Mailings, Stratton, Sylvester, Lockwood and Boggess.
Trainer's now 4 seconds clear, by the way, of the rest of them. And it's side by side here. Stratton around the outside of Mailings. He goes very wide indeed, and that's going to allow Sylvester through, I think. Yep, it does. Sylvester's gone up to third place there. Possibly an ill-advised attempt there from Stratton, who might come back on Sylvester, who's very wide at Graham Hill Bend. Yep, he's back through on the inside, as you can see on the onboard. Stratton goes back through.
And Lockwood's gone with him.
He has, yes. So Sylvester briefly up to third position, now back down to 5th place.
Yeah, having to work hard to hold on to his class lead now because the resurgent Billy Boggess is there too.
Last lap board has just gone out to Sean Traynor with about 15 seconds left on the clock at the time. And because of what happened on the previous lap, it's a bit more spread out for second, third, fourth and fifth. There's a back marker that they're lapping as they go through Paddock Hill Bend. But I don't think it's quite as intense as it was. You have got this possibility now of Boggis attacking Sylvester for the Class B victory, though. They are together as we watch Sean Traynor, who doesn't have a matching set of wheels on his car, I've just noticed. He's making his way through.
This is interesting.
Yeah, they're lapping Martin Collins in the Mark 1, second, third, fourth and fifth. Mailings has got through, Stratton has followed, so too has Lockwood, and just squeezing through as well is Dan Sylvester, but Boggis is now going to go up on the inside of Sylvester into clearways, the two of them overlapping for the Class B lead there. Meanwhile, Sean Traynor is going to come up and across the line to take his third victory of the season in the PD Exhausts Toyota MR2 Championship, but for the Class B victory, it's changed on the line, and Boggis has got it by half a car length from Daniel Sylvester. A good run through the last couple of corners there for Billy Boggis to take fifth place overall in car 99. He finished 300ths of a second clear of Daniel Sylvester in the end, who'd been, after the second corner, leading in Class B all the way through that race. So it's Traynor the winner from Mailing, Stratton, Lockwood, Boggis, Sylvester, Johnson 7th, then Mew, Higton, Ruthven rounding out the top 10 markers.
Sylvester was fine while he had Lockwood as a buffer to Boggis, but once that had all changed, a lap or so from home, it all changed the complexion of the race, didn't it?
It certainly did. So Sean Traynor winning by 6 seconds, pretty dominant in the end, and helped by everybody else fighting with each other, really. Just thinking what happened to Tim Howard. Of course, he was a lap down, but he did a 57.47. Did he lap faster than Boggis and Sylvester? No, he didn't, actually. Boggis did a 57.10. So Heron will be a bit further up the grid than that, because the grid for the second race based on the fastest lap of that one, but it will be Sean Traynor on pole. Let's have a look at the results from the race we've just seen then. Sean Traynor, the winner after 15 laps of racing in the PD Extinguishers Toyota MR2 Championship. Second to number 71, Graham Mailings. Then third was 84, Neil Stratton. Fourth, number 11, Adam Lockwood. Fifth, number 99, Billy Boggis, snatching the Class B victory right at the end from number 21, Daniel Sylvester, who was sixth. Seventh was number 69, Carl Johnston. Eighth, number 78, Jim Mew. Then ninth, Pete Higton, number 4, and rounding out the top 10 was 82, Andrew Ruthven. Head of Darren Aldworth, Christopher Allison, Maxine Nichols and Veer Aldridge. Then it was Andy Williams in 15th place, Sergei Bailayev in 16th, Vladislav Sinani in 17th in 55, then Andrew Strange, Simon Quinn, Patrick Stoner, Nick Lear and Tim Heron, with Martin Collins a couple of laps down in the only Mark 1 in the race. So we can head down to the pit lane now. Josh Barrett is there.
So we're down here after the first of two MR2 Championship races for the day, and Sean Traynor a win. That was better than Silverstone, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I had some breaks here. With Silverstone, we lost the brakes, so
Not ideal.
no, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best race. We qualified well, but it just went. But I had my fingers crossed that pole qualifying wasn't going to mess me up for this. But I got away and they were battling behind, and I was just watching in the rear view mirror really to see what they were up to. But I think Graham was keeping them all in check, so it left me just to sort of be able to drive me laps. So yeah, good race.
Bit of a different complex to Championship this year with quite a lot more of these Mark III roadsters,
Yeah.
and I guess that changes things a little bit.
Yeah, but it's making it good for the Mark II drivers, because there's some new drivers that are getting into the trophies there. So I think that's good for them. But the Mark III, I think they're sort of seeing it as the car to go to them. And I still believe the Mark II is probably quick around here.
Yeah.
But you just got to have it set right, I think.
A good day for you.
Yeah, good to have. So far, we're not talking too soon, Josh.
Well done, Sean. So let's head up to the second place car of Graham Mailings. Graham, second place there for you, but you had plenty of a battle going on there.
Yeah, Neil was pressurising me, so after halfway I knew that I wasn't going to make any head ground on Sean, so it was a case of defending from Neil. Tyres are gone again, pretty usual overdrive it in the first half, so yeah, really good.
Around here, is it easy to defend in these cars, or not particularly easy?
I don't know who's the cars, I think it's the circuit.
Yeah.
Ask Neil, because I always spent the latter half of the race blocking, so yeah, just good.
Well done on second place. Let's have a third place there for you. Neil, pleased with that one?
Really, really happy, yeah. Got third at the last race and third again here. Absolutely over the moon, yeah.
And what's your sort of opinion around here? How easy is it to overtake in these cars for this circuit?
It's not easy. If you get a run on someone, you can get down the inside, but it's quite easy to defend, which is what Graham was doing. You get a bit of the run on him, and he just defends the inside, and it makes it tricky. And you're not going to pull a fast one on Graham at the best of times. So.
I think there was one moment where you had a go, and then everybody else tried to pass you.
Yeah, so that was into juries. I thought, I'll give it a go. People always say you just need to descend it.
Yeah.
So I did, and I lost the back end around the outside, but then Dan got past me, but then he ran a little bit wide into Graham Hill, so I managed to get down the inside and then get the place back. So.
But for you, this is good this year, isn't it? Up onto the podium.
Really happy, yes. Absolutely over the moon, yes.
Well done and good luck later on.
Cheers, thank you very much.
So there's our top three from the MR2 Championship. One more race to go before lunch, which is for the Martins Group Formula V Championship.